Hi, welcome to the St. Thomas tutorial on reading a lesson at our Sunday service. You'll get the lesson itself a few days before, probably on the Monday or the Tuesday, so please take time to read it out loud to yourself, maybe in front of the bathroom mirror. You may want to reprint in a bolder face or a larger type with some spacing in between for you to make notes. Make sure you understand what you're reading and make sure that you understand any biblical references. If you don't, feel free to reach out to one of the members of the clergy to just ask, about that particular reference. So on the day, you'll arrive at church about 9:40, about 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes before the service starts. I like to get a copy of the service sheet on that day, just to double check that I'm reading the same lesson as they have on the service sheet. And then if you're an adult, you want to meet your youth reader at the lectern at 9:45. If you're a youth, likewise, again, having made sure you've practiced and read the lesson out loud, you want to meet your adult mentor at the lectern at 9:45. That way you can pop into the sacristy or step outside if it's a nice day and just maybe run through the lesson one more time. If you're the first person listed as a reader on your email, then that means you are reading the first lesson. But I always prepare both. I prepare the first and the second reading just in case. It's happened a couple of times that someone doesn't turn up, and so you're prepared. That way you don't have to read completely cold.
So when you come up to the lectern just before the service, first of all, you want to check that your reading's in place. If you bought one that you printed out at home and you want to replace the one that's already here, make sure it's in the right order. And then really important, don't be afraid, don't be shy to just test the mic out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how fantastic and what a difference this mic is? So if you just get it right, and then when you come back for your reading, if it's the youth reader, it'll be down here, and you'll just want to bring it up, take your time, and just practice with that for a few seconds before the service starts. The other thing is if you're a tall person, just bear in mind that you're looking down a long way. You may want to lift up the reading a little bit so that you can see it. Don't get your glasses, because it's a long way down to read if you're a tall person. So this is an example of not such a good reading.
A reading from the first epistle of John. Everyone who believes that Jesus the Christ has been born of God, and everyone who loves the parent loves the child. By this we know...
By this, you see what I mean? Shoulders hunched, not checking the mic, not looking at the congregation at all. Okay, so now let's try a slightly better one, we hope. A reading from the first epistle of John. Everyone who believes that Jesus is the Christ has been born of God, and everyone who loves the parent loves the child. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and obey His commandments. For the love of God is this, that we obey His commandments. And His commandments are not burdensome, for whatever is born of God conquers the world. And this is the victory that conquers the world, our faith. Who is it that conquers the world but the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? This is the one who came by water and blood, Jesus Christ, not with the water only, but with the water and the blood. And the Spirit is the one that testifies, for the Spirit is the truth. The word of the Lord. And you wait for the response. Notice how I took my time. Notice how I even actually used, the little trick I do is use my finger to keep my place on the line, so I don't lose my place. That's a nice little trick you might want to try. Notice how I took my time, I paused, I looked up to the gallery. Again, looking up at the gallery will automatically take the whole of the congregation in. And notice how I paused at the end for a moment of reflection before I said the word of the Lord. Okay? But just in conclusion, the biggest thing you can do is read out loud. If nothing else, if you read it about 5, 6, 7 times out loud, I promise you, the reading that you do at St. Thomas's will be a really enjoyable experience. So, in conclusion, it might help you to remember the 3 P's. Posture, stand nice and tall, take in the congregation, don't be afraid to look up and out. Pace, you will never read too slowly. Always tell yourself to slow down and make the most of every single word. Whenever you practice out loud, that will help you. If you practice out loud, you will learn to speak at the right pace. There's nothing worse than gabbling through the lesson and no one understands it and it just looks like you want to get to the end. So take your time. So posture, pace, and projection. Just all that means is you've got a great microphone, it's not going to be a problem for you, but just look out occasionally, you're reading your lesson, you're looking down, occasionally just take in the congregation.